Hey everybody, and welcome back to DenziNow. I'm your host Mike from Electric City Sentai DenziCaster, and we've got 4 more episodes of Kamen Rider Build. I am just trying to blast through the back catalog of stuff here for Build that I have woefully fallen behind on. So today we're looking at episodes, let's see here, 33 through 36. So we're looking at the final weapon, Evolve. The Severing Best match, that's episode 34. Episode 35, the Tower of Destruction. And episode 36, Evolt Hunts the Stars. So just to kind of go through these episodes here, sort of high-level overview more or less, and some first impressions as I wait for my notes to pop up here on screen. Bottom line, folks, I said it last time, I'll say it again, I'll say it hopefully every time until we get to the end of this series. This could very well be the best Heisei Rider series of all time. It might actually be that. I sat down last night as I was watching up through episode 36 and was thinking to myself, my goodness, has there been a better Kamen Rider series in recent memory? And admittedly, I'll say admittedly, I have not watched all of Xaid. What I have watched I enjoyed, but not on this level. Same thing for Ghost. I haven't watched all of Ghost, but again, what I've watched I have not enjoyed on this level. Drive was good. It wasn't great, it was good. Wizard wasn't as bad as everybody thinks it is. Or I think it's just fashionable to hate on Wizard for whatever reason. Then looking at the other one, Forze was awesome. Gaim was terrific. And Gaim and Double were the two that I pretty much held up on the highest level. Maybe Gaim, Double, and maybe Agito were like sort of this mismatch for the top 3. And this was easily in the top 3 and could wind up being number 1 in my heart anyway. So episode 33, Evolve the Final Weapon. It's the debut of the Evolve driver and the debut of Kamen Rider Evolve. By this point, what we have found out is that the Master, as he is constantly referred to, but the Master, Soichi, is over the last few episodes, and I love the way that here in Build that they plant seeds, and they don't tell you up front. They plant seeds and let you figure it out, and I love that. But we see Soichi sort of talking to himself and having arguments and discussions with 2 different voices coming out. One of them being the Bloodstark voice, and then the other one being Soichi's unmorphed, untransformed voice. And we see both of those, and we start to hear the Bloodstark voice come out of him, even when he's not transformed. Eventually discovering that the reality is that when Soichi, who was the astronaut that discovered Pandora's box on Mars, when he went there, he was possessed by this evil entity, which is Evolt. And Evolt winds up crafting this master plan to try to get his powers back. His powers have basically been locked away in the box, and the Evolve driver has been hidden away from him. At first, it's just not working, and so he gives it to who we figure out over the course of this is Sento's dad, his late father. Gives it to him first to rebuild, and Sento's dad never gave it back. And it got built into the apparatus that the full bottles are presumably crafted from over the course of the series. So I really do dig that, and I love that we have that that setup. We also have in this episode sort of a trade put forth of give us the Evolve driver, and you can have back your Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister got kidnapped. The Prime Minister of Toto. So we will give you back Prime Minister Himuro, and you can go on about your life. That's the presumed deal here. Um, but it basically becomes a thing of what is the Evolve Driver. And the Evolve Driver eventually falls into the hands of Soichi slash Evolt. And when he transforms, I will say this: I do not like the Kamen Rider Evolve costume. I just don't. The silhouette is really interesting, and I like the silhouette. So that's a cool thing. But just the overall look of it with the mishmash of colors, I really could do without it. I think this one could have gone back to the drawing board a little bit. So that kind of falls into the category, as I like to say, of it is what it is. Then, as we look here, after that decision is put forth, which, by the by, should be noted in this episode, we also wind up with Kamen Rider Rogue basically setting up a deal of you can get me free from the chip that they're going to use to kill me when I outlive my usefulness or do something they don't like. And if you can do that, then I will help you free the Prime Minister. And when we see the flashback, I do really like the Gintoku's justification. Kamen Rider Rogue Gintoku says, I want to save my father. And that's what it boils down to, is he knows his father's going to die. He knows the way these people operate, that we're going to get what we want, and then we're going to kill him and deprive the good guys of this resource. We don't care. We're not going to keep our word. It's not in our nature. And so he just wants to save his dad for all the differences they've had. It's my father. I'm going to save him. And I really, really dig that. I really do love the fact that they did that with him in this. So that to me is really cool. Can't say enough about sort of the evolution at this point, I guess, pardon the pun, the evolution of Gintoku as a character. Unfortunately, as it looks like Gintoku himself is going to become the first true victim of Evol, his father jumps in the way of the fatal blow and dies in his son's place, and basically tells his son, you know what, do what you were going to do. His son says earlier in the episode, I just wanted to bring the country together so everyone would smile again. And I don't agree with the way you were going to do it. And that's why I did what I did. And his father says, you know what, basically, do it, kid. You're going to have to be the one to do this. So I appreciate that, and it was an interesting way to bring about the end of that story. The next episode, The Severing Best Match. In this one, we start to find out a little more about Banjo. We've been told, we get the word, Banjo is the same as Evolt. And Evolt actually tells him that we're the same thing. And we find out that, no, they really are the same thing. That Evolt had sent back a portion of himself in the unmanned probe that went to Mars before Shoichi's manned mission to Mars. When it got there, it pretty much straight up like the child in Star Trek Next Generation episode, winds up this alien life form possesses Banjo's mother with the intention of possessing her, but instead wound up possessing the unborn child, which is Ryuga Banjo, and winds up when Banjo is born, more or less winds up an amnesiac. He forgets that he was ever an alien, and he is raised and lives as a human. But this is why, and it makes perfect sense if you watch through the series, why can this one guy who has no special powers, can't transform, he's an ordinary guy, he's just a fighter, take a full bottle in his hand, use its power, and fight the monsters without transforming. Think about that. If you backtrack, they were setting seeds for this that early in the series because we know the bottles are linked to the box and Evol can control Pandora's box. If the bottles are a portion of that power, it makes perfect sense why Banjo was able to use the power without a transformation device now. So I really dig that. And the whole premise is I'm going to take over Banjo. Once you reach a high enough hazard level, I can take over your body because I'm already there, and that's the plan. And we wind up with Evol Dragon, which becomes Evolt Phase 2. They are not wasting any time here, folks. And he possesses a Banjo. And in the process of doing that, he leaves. He basically cures Sento. Sento gets poisoned earlier in the episode, or it might be late in the previous episode. But he gets poisoned, and the exchange is: bring me the rest of the bottles so that I can power Pandora's box. Give me back Pandora's box. Bring me all of Toto's bottles. I will cure Sento. And that's when you find out, no, that wasn't the plan. The plan was to possess Ryuga and do all of that and let Sento die. And he ultimately, though, once he possesses Ryuga, he actually does cure Sento, which kind of makes me think, I wonder if some part of Ryuga was still in control, or if the host body somehow influences Evolt in some way. The one thing that comes out of this, which we have not seen yet or gotten any kind of furthering of a plot on, but they're going to have to come back to it because that's how good Build is. I have full faith they're going to come back to it. Is we do wind up with with Soichi, with the Master. He winds up basically in a coma. He's no longer possessed. He's alive, but basically unconscious, and that's the state he's in for the rest of these episodes. Tower of Destruction. We wind up here with Sento using the Dragon Full Bottle of Banjo in an attempt to save Banjo's life, and that's where we are at this point. Evolt winds up furthering his evolution. He's pretty much got almost all the full bottles left from Pandora's box. And we wind up with the last fight, so to speak, or what it looks like is going to be the last fight. The only full bottle remaining is in Gintoku's possession. It's the Phoenix full bottle. We wind up in the Pandora Tower, which gets bigger and bigger and bigger as we see more of Evolt, Banjo Evolt controlling the tower. We see Sento ready to give his life to stop this. And it's just another tension-filled episode, furthering the plot and bringing Gintoku closer and closer to our heroes, making them allies by circumstance here because Gintoku has the final full bottle, the only thing that stands between our heroes and certain oblivion. So far, it's just continuing apace, and then towards the end of the episode, we get the return of Benarge, who basically steals back the Pandora box, all of the full bottles, and gets our heroes back home at the end of this one. And then when we move on to Evolt Hunts the Stars, episode 36, in this one, Evolt finally gets his hands on all 60 bottles, the complete Pandora box. He has the energy within it. He has the ability to destroy Earth. He has everything he needs. I actually goofed my episodes up here a little bit because this is where Benarge pulls them away. However, Sento discovers another power that was erased from his father's notes that he's able to reconstruct, which allows one of the panels to become a plug-in, an extra device for use with the build driver. and will allow him to further escalate his hazard level. The problem is, it's all part of the plan, and Evolt is able to, by the end of the episode, where Sento is intent on a suicide mission, that he is going to escalate his hazard level so far, so fast, that he self-destructs and takes Evolt with him. After freeing Banjo, instead he winds up all for naught. And now Sento, the strongest of Earth's Kamen Riders, is possessed by Evolt, and we get the debut of Evolt Rabbit form, showing that he is possessing Sento. He takes on his first form after each possession is the bottle of the person he possessed. So Cobra from Bloodstark slash Soichi, from Banjo the Dragon, and then now the Rabbit from Sento. So, folks, you don't know where to start because they pack a whole lot into 4 episodes. I'm loving the story. We already know that. The stakes keep getting higher and higher without, and I will applaud them for this, without seeming hokey. Which is something that is easily done in one of these shows. It's very easy to, as you escalate the stakes, make it start to seem just cheesier and cheesier. I like what they did with Sento. I love what they did with Ryuga, and I look forward to seeing what they do with him now that he's been freed from his possession. It's very strange in one of these shows to see the title hero wind up being the bad guy for any period of time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Sento Evolt. I love the evolution of all the characters. There's a relationship seemingly building between Rogue and Grease, which I'm digging a lot. Grease is sort of becoming the silent ally in a lot of ways, that he's becoming the glue for the team, but at the same time he's kind of the tough love member of the group. So I'm really digging that evolution. They do some comedy stuff with him, especially with him being in love with Mitan, with Misora, the part-time idol and part-time possessee of the Queen of Mars. I'm digging everything here. The Evolt suit, that doesn't do it for me at all. I'm hoping with Ryuga back that we will wind up getting back to the cross Z magma here at some point. That would be really nice. Just everything all the way up through here. And the fact that they're not really wasting time with Evolt. In 4 episodes, he has revealed 3 forms and possessed 3 different people. And our characters right now, there is seemingly nothing they can do to stop him. So, when you've written yourself into that position, it's going to be really interesting to see how they get out of it. Because, at the end of the day, the heroes have to win, but how do they win becomes the question. Especially now that Sento, who is undoubtedly the brains of the outfit, is now no longer there. Up to this point, he has been the straw that serves the drink, the guy that's willing to do what must be done kind of guy, and definitively been the hero of the series, despite Ryuga's assertion in episode 34. Yeah, in episode 34, where he looks and goes, "No, I'm the hero." Maybe he is. Maybe this is where we find out. Wouldn't be the first time that a Kamen Rider series, the secondary writer was really the hero of the show. That's happened before. I've infamously told my buddies who've asked if they ever watch Kamen Rider Kabuto to just keep in mind that that they called the show Kamen Rider Kabuto, but the main character's name was Kamen Rider Gatak. So yeah, awesome batch of episodes. And I'm literally sitting here trying to rack my brain for anything negative I can say about them, and I can't. There's nothing I can think of off the top of my head about these episodes that I didn't like. outside of the E-Vault design, and that is what it is. It's a suit design. So, all in all, extremely pleased. So far, so good. Next time around, I've got 4 more episodes to catch up on. So the next time we meet here on DenziNow, which will be sooner than you think, is going to be episode 37, The Ultimate Phase, episode 38, Mad World, episode 39, The Unstoppable Genius, and episode 40, The Final Revolution. So I've got all of those to watch here real soon, actually. So I'm looking forward to that. And then once I'm caught up on build, then we're going to jump back over to Lupin Ranger versus Pot Ranger and play catch up there too. I'm equally far behind on that one, but they're much earlier in the series still, so I don't feel like I've missed a hell of a lot just yet. Folks, I want to thank you so very much for joining us. Please, if you would, leave us some comments down below. We love feedback. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, give us a thumbs down. That's fine too. Just let us know why in the comments below. If you want to help us out here at Geek Carolina, of course, first and foremost, share, like, and hit that red subscribe button. That's really helpful for us. Also, you can pick up merchandise to help us out here on the channel at either of our 2 stores, cafepress.com/geekcarolina or redbubble.com/people/geekcarolina, which is where you will find this awesome build style t-shirt that I'm wearing. One of my favorite shirts now that I have. So go over there and check those out. And remember that anything you buy there goes to help the channel. It does not profit any of the people that work or host shows here on Geek Carolina. We all have jobs. We do this with you because we love doing it. We love Toku, and we love talking about it, or we love games, or we love kung fu movies and bullet ballet, or we love anime. We love our fandoms, and that's why we share them with you. So, folks, thank you so very much for joining us. Until next time, when I will have some more Kamen Rider build, because it's the best thing going today, I'm Mike, and I'll see you around.